the Psychetruth live chat every Wednesday on your YouTube machine. Live chat, the Psychetruth live chat. I'll answer your questions, whatever you want to talk about. Health and wellness and your YouTube machine. Wow, 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 wow. Live chat, the Psychetruth live chat every Wednesday. Wednesdays on your YouTube machine. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my weekly live chat. For those of you who are maybe just joining me for the first time, my name is Corrina Rachel, and I'm a certified holistic health coach. I've made hundreds of videos on this channel, Psychetruth, about nutrition, weight loss, handling stress, losing weight, lots of different topics under that big umbrella of health and wellness. So that is our big umbrella topic for the day, and this is your chance to ask your questions. So if you're looking at the chat, you are already seeing all of these questions filing in here. I'm going to do my very best to get to as many of them as possible. This is where I kick up into I drank too much coffee gear in an attempt to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Although I hope that you enjoyed that nice, chill, bossa nova style version of my live chat theme song. All right, getting that energy going. If you are in the chat room now, I already see lots of questions coming in. Please note, if you put question marks at the beginning of your question, it makes it a lot easier for me to see the questions in the midst of all the comments and stuff. If you leave a tip with your question, YouTube will actually bump your question up to the top and give me a little notification. So even if you leave me like a 50-cent tip or a $1 tip or whatever, that's the best way to guarantee that you get an answer to your question. Guys, we really appreciate your tips. Things are crazy woo-woo on YouTube right now. And we're barely making our ends meet month to month. I'll just be perfectly honest with you. So we really appreciate your support. We really appreciate your tips. You can also support us by joining wellnessplus.tv, and we are actually running a free 7-day trial. We'll probably even run it past October, honestly, but definitely for the rest of this month, you can go to wellnessplus.tv and get your free 7-day trial. Hundreds and hundreds of videos up there to help you get healthy, 30-day challenges, and all kinds of fun stuff. All right, so here we go. I'm getting into the question answering mode, but not the commode, luckily. Okay, Daisy Ramirez, first question left in the chat room today. What are the best supplements you suggest? Vitamins, ... Alrighty, so this is a really good question. You know, there are a lot of different supplements out there. Now, the first thing I want to say just right off the bat is that the only way to really know what nutrients you need to be supplementing is to actually go to a doctor of functional medicine or somebody that'll actually do a blood test on you, and then they will actually be able to pull up results and find exactly what you're deficient in or what you have too much of. So aside from doing that, which would be my kind of number one recommendation if you can, afford to do that, because that's the best way to really specify your supplement regimen directly to you. And especially if you're working with a doctor of functional medicine, they are going to look at your look at your results, look at your body, and then determine exactly what you need. Okay, so aside from doing that, I'm not a huge supplement person myself. The best way to get your nutrients is from a healthy diet. What they call bioavailability, which just means that when you eat something or when you take something, how well is your body able to absorb that nutrient and then break it down and be able to use it? That's the bioavailability. So the most bioavailable nutrients you can take in are going to be when you eat salads, when you eat vegetables, when you just eat healthy, natural foods. I've done lots of videos talking about what that means. But when you're eating those nutrient-dense foods and getting those nutrients, that is by far the best way for your body to get those nutrients and make the most of them. Now, most of us are not eating enough vegetables every day. They recommend that you need 7 to 10 cups of vegetables every day just to get your bare minimum of nutrients. Now, even as a certified health coach, I don't think I get to 7 to 10 cups a day of vegetables. Just being perfectly honest with myself. So what that means is that it can be helpful to take some kind of a multivitamin supplement to kind of fill in the gaps. I talk about it like a safety net. Basically, if you're taking a multivitamin, that's just going to kind of cover some of your bases, nutrient-wise, to make sure that you're at least getting, your vitamins, your minerals, and especially those trace minerals, which cause a lot of problems when we are not getting all the minerals that we need, and most of us just aren't. Because those trace minerals are not present in processed foods. You're only going to get them when you are eating, like nuts are a really good source of minerals and trace minerals. There are, basically all of your different plant-based foods are going to be a really good source of minerals. So eat more plants, eat more vegetables, eat more salads. If you're going to take a multivitamin, I really encourage you to look for something that's food-based. So rather than creating synthetic vitamin C or synthetic B12, which a lot of them do, and a lot of those daily vitamins like Once a Day and Centrum and all of those, the ones that we see advertised on TV most often, unfortunately, those are synthetic vitamins. And what that means is they're not as bioavailable. Your body can't use them as well. So I unfortunately kind of consider it a waste of your money to buy those cheap multivitamins. All right. If you're going to take a multi, go ahead and, you don't have to spend a lot of money on them, but get something that's based in whole foods. There's, a good way to determine that is that when you look at the label, it'll actually list all these vegetables on it, right? And you'll be looking at it and you'll get like, oh, these are vitamins that come from foods. So to give you some examples, there's a video I will be posting next week that shows Nature's Way vitamins. They have a whole line called Alive, where they make a women's multivitamin, a men's multivitamin, a kid's multivitamin, which is going to be really good because then you're at least getting a blend that's kind of customized, for your general age or for your gender, because we do have different needs. So Nature's Way Alive, I love those. There's also a product called Green Vibrance. So it's just a whole bunch of healthy green vegetables that they turn into a powder. You can either add the powder to water, but they also have capsules or pills that you could take. But Green Vibrance, really fantastic. It doesn't really brand itself as a multivitamin, but it kind of serves that purpose, right? Just giving you a lot of different things. In terms of other supplements, again, I think most people are deficient in minerals. They're not getting enough minerals. So they do have some various mineral supplements out there that you can just like add to your water or something like that. Mineral supplements, I think, are a good idea. The only other supplement that I think is just a really great across the board, will benefit pretty much every person on the planet, is probiotics. So maybe by now you've heard of good bacteria and bad bacteria. Inside of our digestive tract, we have, I believe, thousands of different microbes, okay, which are bacteria, microorganisms, but they're good, which means that they serve really important functions in the body. Our digestive tract is where most of our immune system function occurs. Our hormone production, a lot of that depends on a healthy digestive tract. And then just your digestion in general, like how bloated do you feel? How well do you process the foods you're eating? How well do you absorb the nutrients in the food that you're eating? So kind of back to that idea of bioavailability and just recognizing that once you eat something or take something, this whole slew of chemical processes then ensues for your body to break that down and then use it. So probiotics that feed the good bacteria of the gut are literally going to help, in my opinion, every different aspect of your health. Improve your digestion, improve your body's ability to absorb and use nutrients from the foods that you're eating, improve your immune system, which everyone needs. We need a healthier immune system. So probiotics, I recommend a multiple strain probiotic. Again, this video I'm posting next week includes a probiotic because I just think they're really, really super important. Magnesium can be another really good thing to supplement. Again, if you're just taking a general multi or a mineral supplement, it'll contain a lot of magnesium. But for people who deal with a lot of stress, muscle tension, muscle cramping, inability to fall asleep at night, magnesium would be a really good thing to start adding. You can use topical magnesium sprays. There's also a drink called Magnesium Calm that is just like kind of a fizzy drink that you can make at night before bed to get some magnesium. Anyhow, there's a multitude of different important nutrients out there. The bottom line is that anything that you are really, really deficient in can strongly affect your health. So going and getting your blood tested and actually finding out the specific nutrients that you need, I just can't tell you enough how valuable that information can be, especially if you have some kind of illness or unexplained symptom that the doctors are like, oh, we just don't know what it is. Really good chance you have an underlying deficiency or maybe food allergy or food sensitivity going on. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, vitamin D. I cannot tell you enough. Vitamin D has so many different effects, especially on our mental health, tons of different effects on our physical health, and it's an important thing to mention as it's starting to get cooler outside. Not very much cooler down here in Texas, which is why I'm wearing a tank top, okay? It's still like 80-something degrees outside here in Texas, but I know for a lot of you, it's getting cold, you're not spending as much time in the sun, and during the winter months, supplementing vitamin D, typically it'll be D3, and I've taken it in a liquid before. Liquid vitamin D3, you have to keep it in the refrigerator because it's very delicate. But D vitamins can be a really good thing to take to supplement in the wintertime. And if you just typically don't get a lot of sun exposure, even during the summer months, then supplement vitamin D all year. Really good question. Daisy Ramirez, thank you so much for leaving it. Librangella, first time in the live chat, welcome. I am not sure if I said your name correctly, so please accept my apology. Librangella, welcome to your first live chat. What am I doing? I am doing a health Q&A, which means that those of you who come to the chat and ask questions, I do my very best to answer them, or at least to direct you to another resource that I think can help you find the answer if I'm not able to give you an answer myself. Alrighty, aloha from Hawaii. Awesome. Tina Williams, what is the best collagen supplement? So collagen, really there's not a vegan collagen. I mean, I guess there probably are. There probably are supplements that are meant to be a vegan collagen replacement. But typically collagen is going to come from animals. And people who are on a vegan diet sometimes can have issues with that. Collagen, the best brand that I know of, there's a brand called Vital Proteins. I think that's what it's called, Vital Proteins. And they make a collagen supplement. I would just encourage you to kind of use the same guidelines that I recommend when you're looking at your animal products and dairy products. So organic, if possible, grass-fed, or what they might call, you know, depending on the product. If it's related to cows, typically it'll say grass-fed or pasture-raised or something like that. If you're gonna drink milk, if you're gonna eat meat, you will be far, far, far healthier to choose something that is grass-fed or pasture-raised. Same thing goes for eggs. Bottom line is that what they are feeding animals in the kind of conventional factory farming, which is where most of the meat and dairy is produced, they're fed an unnatural diet, which makes them very sick. And it's the reason that there are so many antibiotics pumped into these animals. And then when we eat those dairy products and meat products and we are taking in all those antibiotics, anyways, I'm kind of going off topic, but bottom line is that organic, grass-fed, always good things to look for. You know, most of your pure collagen supplements will come from animals. So I just really encourage you to consider those things, and kind of look for those things on the label. Have you ever considered doing a Swedish death metal version of your intro song? You know, it would be a little bit hard without an amplifier. I mean, it would sound so much more metal with an electric guitar and an amplifier. I will definitely consider it. I like that. Jeff Steingold, death metal version of the live chat theme song. Mike Cordero, what can I eat or drink to curb appetite in the evening? Oh man, this is such a popular question because I totally am right there with you in terms of that feeling where it's after dinner, or, you know, you're about to get ready for bed and then your belly starts grumbling. And you're like, oh, really? Because it is hard to fall asleep when you're hungry. I am so there with you. So foods to eat at night. Okay, if you are within 5 to 6 hours of going to bed, or of the time that you know, are planning to go to bed, there's just a couple of really simple kind of guidelines. I mean, first thing, and hopefully this is obvious, is to stay away from caffeine. I really hate to say it, but you know, especially when I was in college, man, I didn't even know how I survived college, to be quite honest with you, because I was drinking sodas all day long. I was drinking sodas at night while I was studying, but really good thing to avoid anything with caffeine at night. Okay, and remember that includes your sodas and your energy drinks. Hopefully nobody's drinking an energy drink at night. In terms of appetite, in terms of foods, thinking about staying away from sugar will be a really good idea. But remember that it's not just things that are sweet that are like sugar to your bloodstream, or very fast, how quickly they break down into sugar in your bloodstream. That also applies to white bread. Okay, any kind of white flour things, so pasta, pastries, white bread itself, all of those types of things are, even though they're not technically sugar, when those carbohydrates break down in your body, they basically act just like sugar. So it's going to increase your blood glucose level. It's going to increase the amount of insulin getting pumped into your bloodstream, because every time you raise your blood glucose or your blood sugar level, your body responds by releasing a bunch of insulin. So the last thing you want to do right before you go to bed is spike up your blood sugar level and release that insulin into your bloodstream, because what that insulin does is put you into fat storage mode. All right, you can't be burning fat and storing fat at the same time, and insulin is the fat storing hormone. So one of the best times that we are actually able to start burning fat, and I know you didn't ask this in relation to weight loss, but I'm just assuming that you're kind of talking about, what can I eat at night to avoid gaining weight or to help me keep losing weight? So if you are spiking your blood sugar level at night and putting that insulin in your bloodstream, then you're going to bed in that fat storage mode. And your body is just going to be burning through sugar while you sleep, and it never gets into burning that fat. And the only time our body can really do that ketosis and burn fat for fuel is while we're asleep. So avoiding sugar and avoiding carbohydrates at night, I just cannot tell you how important this is. So what can you eat at night? Healthy sources of fat and healthy sources of protein are really what you want to look for. Now, especially at night, especially if you're trying to lose weight. So that would be things, to think, from my perspective, some things that I would have at night. If I do have a sweet tooth, maybe I'll reach for something that's like trail mix with, like dried cranberries, maybe even a couple little chocolate chips in it, because that just makes it off a chain. But by having those nuts, nuts like almonds, walnuts, whatever, those are good, healthy sources of fat and fiber that kind of balance out whatever sugar might be present in the fruit or the chocolate or whatever. And that's just a good kind of tip in general, is that if you consume fats or protein or fiber with your sugar, it kind of reduces the amount of a blood sugar spike you're going to get. So trail mix would be a good thing. Avocado, fantastic. Avocado is so low carb that they literally don't even have it on the glycemic index. Like, it causes such a small influx in your sugar. It is kind of what they consider to be like glycemically neutral, I guess you could say, because it's just mostly fat. So avocados, nuts. If you eat meat, something like some turkey or some cheese, but again, you don't want to put it on a sandwich. You don't want to have it with the carbs. Any source of vegetables would be a great thing. If you can eat a salad at night, that would be fantastic. And if you're, really hungry, maybe you put some slices of cheese or slices of turkey or chicken on the salad or something like that. If you can eat a salad at night, eat some greens, eat some vegetables, that would be ideal. Again, you just really want to stay away from carbohydrates, sugar, and caffeine. Another thing about eating fats and fiber and protein and stuff like that is that it's slower for your body to break down. And that's why it doesn't cause that blood sugar spike. So what that means as you're going to bed is that food that you eat, if you have some healthy fats and or protein, is going to take a long time to get broken down and metabolized. So it'll actually keep you from waking up in the middle of the night hungry. So fats, protein, fiber, although if you're eating real foods, natural foods, that fiber is just there presently. Mike Gonzalez says, you're so lucky to get massaged all the time. Guys, I know that it looks on the channel like I get massaged all the time, but I maybe am just, like once or twice a month we do a shoot. We shoot several videos, but before the video, after the video, I'm setting cameras, I'm setting the overhead angle, I'm setting up lights, I'm working. And then when we get done, I have to pack everything up. So, I love it. It is a huge perk of my job, but please just, so y'all don't think I'm just totally spoiled, understand that I'm working my tail off the entire rest of the day, when I'm not actually in the video being the massage model. Sometimes even while we're filming, I have to like stand up and change a battery or do something or whatever. It just happens. So it is definitely a perk of this job. It is definitely a perk. Victor Gold, can you do another video on the top 10 dangerous food chemicals, such as natural flavors? Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of dangerous food chemicals. I'm probably going to do an entire video just talking about natural flavors. The thing about natural flavors, number one, you will see them on everything. Okay? I obsessively read labels, as y'all probably know about me if y'all watch my videos at all. I am obsessive, okay? I literally read the label on everything. So I see natural flavors everywhere, even on a drink that says it's healthy or says it's all organic or whatever. Oftentimes they'll still have natural flavors. The reason this is such a scary chemical or such a scary thing to see on a label is that if you go to the FDA website, fda.gov, and you put in natural flavors, it'll give you a huge list of different chemicals that can basically just, instead of having to list the chemical, you can just list it as natural flavors. So when you see that on a label, it could mean any one or any dozen of like hundreds of different chemicals. You literally have no idea what it is they're using. For something to be called a natural flavor, all it has to be is something that is somehow taken from something in nature. So a natural flavor could be something that they take from rocks. Rocks are natural. Okay, it could be, so if you look up cochineal, Cochineal, I think, cochineal, it's taken from the wings of bugs. Cochineal, it's a red color, I believe, okay? And I think it's the wing, I could be wrong, but it's some kind of part of a bug, okay? But it's natural. There's also something called castoreum, okay? This is one of those chemicals that got a lot of attention because as being called beaver butt juice. All right, so if you take a beaver, there's a certain gland, not technically in the butt, but very next to, okay, very coincidental to, it's called the castor gland, and it's basically in the anus of a beaver. And so they make this chemical by extracting that chemical from the anal gland of the beaver, the castor gland of the beaver, which is basically in its butt. And it's a natural flavoring. And what's scary is that you'll never see castoreum on a food label. They don't have to put it on the label. They don't have to tell you if it's in there. All they have to put on the label is natural flavors. So on one hand, natural flavors are like, Corrina, it's natural. Okay? And a lot of them are probably fine. Okay, they can take a flavor from a fruit. They can take a flavor from a pea, whatever. Okay, I'm cool with that. But the fact that they can also make these natural flavors from rocks and bugs and this juice from the anal gland of a beaver, that's enough for me to be like, I ain't gonna eat it. And I go out of my way trying to avoid natural flavors. And it's very difficult because they're in freaking everything. And what's scary to me is that you just don't know. You know, if you look at the label and you see high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, whatever, at least you can decide if you want to eat those or not. But when you see natural flavors, it's like a big fucking question mark. Oh, pardon me. I don't think I get censored on here either. But anyways, it's just like a big question mark. They're just like not even telling you what the actual chemicals are that's in it. Anyways, all right. So Victor Gold mentioned natural flavors. I just wanted to touch on that. But yes, I will definitely do another like top 10 worst food chemicals video. Why do I enjoy doing those so much? I don't know. Evangelina Voma, how long would you say that it takes to lose 88 pounds? Okay, so Evangelina, thank you so much for your question. Couple things I want to say. Bottom line is every single person is different. There are no two people, okay, maybe there's two people on the planet that could lose the same amount of weight in the exact same amount of days, but it's very unlikely, okay? This is why I do my one-on-one health coaching. I don't think it's up there. But anyways, because then if somebody comes to me and they ask a question like this, here's the questions I want to know. How old are you? How much do you weigh now? How much weight have you already lost? Is this your first weight loss effort? How long have you been overweight? What is your daily fitness activity like? What is your diet like? How You know, have you been sedentary for most of your life? I mean, there's just tons and tons of factors that are going to influence how long it would take someone to lose. That's a pretty significant amount of weight, almost 90 pounds. But, you know, so I'm not even going to give you a time span because everyone is different. You know, the more you work out, the healthier you eat, the faster you'll lose that weight. Period. If you've been sedentary for a really long time, overweight for a really long time, it'll take you longer to lose that weight than someone who's, you know, been pretty active for most of their life. They eat pretty healthy. So, Evangelina, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I just need more information. That's just like a super vague question. Like if I came to you and I said, you know, how long is it going to take me to, you know, what? You know, learn to bench 300 pounds. Like you'd have no idea, right? Like how much can you bench now? How many days a week do you train? Etc. Nita Vlogs, what do competitive eaters usually do to break down the sugar after they drink 1,000 calories of concentrate or Next-Quick? I have no idea. I mean, those competitive eating things, I can't imagine, I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably one of the absolute worst things you could ever do for yourself. I think there was like one person that even died, right? Like the only person who ever died from drinking too much water, it was because they were doing one of these competitions, forcing themselves to drink more than a normal person would. So horribly unhealthy, the competitive eating stuff. I just, I don't know. I don't know why someone would do that to their body, honestly. Betty Azris, I already answered the question about what to eat in the evening. I hope that you heard that answer. If not, replay the video after I get done here because I already answered that question a couple minutes ago. McKenna Ballet, do you have any suggestions on inner knee pain? So McKenna, thank you so much for your question. The knee is a very, very, very delicate part of the body. If you are having pain that's emanating from the inside of your knee, I would suggest that you seek out a chiropractor or a physical therapist or a lymphatic massage therapist. So physical therapy, lymphatic massage therapy, or a chiropractor to assess what is going on there. Because there's a couple different things that could happen. If you just keep, you know, so your name is McKenna Ballet 13. So I'm assuming that you do ballet, okay? Assuming that you're fairly active. You're trying to get flexibility, ballet poses, stuff like that. So you don't want to just keep dancing on it and hope it'll go away. You need to figure out what's going on and treat it. So the inner knee, are you talking about like from the patella or the kneecap? Are you talking about from the back of the knee? Like it feels like it's coming from that kind of like soft, fleshy part behind the knee. There's lymphatic drainage. There's a lot of lymphatic activity that goes on behind the knee. So that's why I recommended lymphatic massage. If you look up lymphatic massage on our channel, we have a couple videos kind of talking about how to do it. Although for, anything that you're having significant pain from, I would really encourage you to see a professional so that they can do like a full lymphatic massage treatment. And the hope would be that by improving that flow of lymphatic fluid and circulation in that area, you can pull out whatever bad stuff or just stagnant toxins are back there and flush in a lot of new healthy blood, healthy oxygen that can help to heal whatever kind of issue is going on there. Because chances are there's some kind of an injury, or, you know, just really tight muscle behind the knee, maybe. That could be a result of you like twisting it or just overuse. So I would definitely encourage you to get that checked out. I believe if you put in knee pain on our channel, you should find a couple different videos that people have done over the years talking about issues surrounding the knee. And I'm sure that that would be helpful for you. Wendy French, tried losing weight, calorie counting, and exercise. It's still not working. I'm not eating enough. 1,200 calories a day. Okay, so a couple different things that are part of this question. First of all, I am not a fan of counting calories. I like math, okay, I do. I like math, okay, but I don't like subjecting myself to more math than is absolutely necessary in my already over math complicated life. I don't like counting calories because I think it stresses us out too much. One of the most important things for anyone trying to lose weight that I cannot drive home enough is that your stress can and will prevent you from losing weight. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. Anyone who's not listening but is trying to lose weight, listen to this, please. Your stress, your lack of sleep, can and will prevent you from losing weight. So no matter what you do to try and lose weight, you change your diet, you work out more, whatever it is, okay? Remember that if it's stressing you out, it's not working, okay? So what I see in people that count calories oftentimes is that they are so stressed out by what they're eating. They're so stressed out by trying to keep track of what they're eating or figure out how many calories are in this thing that they ate or whatever, that I'm like, you know what? That stress that comes with that is just not good. Okay, so counting calories is stressful. Stress inhibits weight loss. Stress prevents you from losing weight. Restricting your calories too much prevents you from losing weight. Remember that the whole reason your body started storing fat in the first place is as a survival mechanism. And I talk about this a lot, so I apologize for those of you who's like, oh God, not this rant again. But until everyone is at their preferred weight that they want to be at, I'm going to keep explaining. So the reason we store fat is as a survival mechanism to protect us if there's ever a famine or whatever, a flood or whatever could happen that could prevent us from having food. So just however you want to see it, your stored fat is your body's insurance policy that it's going to be able to survive a famine. Another way of thinking about it is that your stored fat is like a little storage unit. And so your body is like going away and saying, oh my God, I'm going to save this fat for a rainy day, just in case we ever need it. And it puts it away in the little storage locker and, so, you know, seals up the little code or whatever, right? Kind of lock it up for safekeeping. So, all right, you now want to lose weight, all right? You're like, okay, I want to burn off this fat. So the thing about weight loss is that it's actually kind of counterintuitive for the body. It's counter survival. This is one of the reasons that stress impedes weight loss. All right, so in order for your body to actually burn off the fat that it was saving as an insurance policy to save your life, is by helping to show your body that there's no threat of famine. There's no threat of famine. There's no threat of loss of food. The best way to do that is by eating regular meals. I know it's hard to eat at the exact same time every day, but trying to have some kind of a regular eating schedule, the body really likes that. It loves when things are on a schedule. It loves when it can kind of expect and prepare for things. So eating regular meals. Don't skip your meals, because as soon as you are going, more than 5 or 6 hours without food, your body starts to go into that stress mode where it says, okay, when's the next time we're going to be able to eat? And when you skip your meals or you calorie restrict too much, your body holds on to that fat for dear life. It's like if your fat was a little life raft and you're trying to like pull the life raft out of the hand of the person that's drowning, they're not going to let it go. Your body does not want to let it go because that fat is your life raft, so to speak. So regularly scheduled meals. Don't restrict your calories too much. I am anticipating that someone's going to be like, but Corrina, what about intermittent fasting where you do skip your meals? Totally other topic. And I will talk about intermittent fasting if somebody asks about that. But bottom line, okay, is that regularly scheduled meals, don't skip your meals, don't restrict your calories. Just try to eat healthy. Rather than focusing so much on the number of calories, think about the foods that you're eating and trying to eat things that are as nutritious as possible. That's the most important thing, for you to get your nutrients. And just remember that stress, lack of sleep, and, going too long without eating are going to make your body cling to that fat life raft even more strongly. It makes it even harder to lose weight. I think it's a big reason that the weight loss industry is like a multi-billion-dollar industry because they're having people do all of these things that don't actually help them lose weight. They're having you count calories. They're having you calorie restrict. They're having you eat all of these partial foods that don't have any fat in them. It's very, very bad for you, and it doesn't help you lose weight. Mike Gonzalez asked how tall I am. I'm 6 feet tall. So I'll let you decide if I'm tall or short because it's all relative. Know what I'm saying? Eli F., is it helpful to do yoga if you want to lose weight? Yes, 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 100,000 times yes. I cannot say this enough, and we get a lot of comments on the yoga videos where people are like, oh, yoga, this isn't going to help you lose weight. You got to do P90X or CrossFit or something like that. Well, in my opinion, based on all of my years of health coaching people and working with people one-on-one who are trying to lose weight, for most people, the reason they can't lose weight is that they're under too much stress. They don't sleep enough, they're stressed out all the time, then whatever fitness or diet regimen they do stresses them out even more. So the reason that yoga is helpful to help you lose weight, and I got a lot of freaking reasons, guys. It helps you reduce your stress, which if you remember, stress impedes weight loss. Stress prevents you from losing weight. Yoga helps improve your sleep. And again, the main time that we burn fat is while we sleep. Because during the day, your body, your nervous system, it's doing 100 million different things. And so the time that your body actually does this pretty advanced process of fat metabolism, ketosis, burning fat, is while you sleep. So things that reduce your stress and things that help you sleep will help you lose weight. Yoga is fantastic because it addresses what I consider are the 3 key aspects of fitness. That's flexibility and mobility, which has to do with stretching, and maintaining your mobility, which means do you have the full range of motion that you should have in your arms, in your legs, in your hips? Because most people, as we age, as we get, kind of stuck in these postures, will lose mobility. Think about an old person with a real hunched over back. They can't do this, right? So mobility, flexibility is about keeping your body working the way that it should. Strength training, making you stronger, building your muscles. Losing weight is kind of twofold. It's about burning off the fat and forming the new muscles that you need in order to do the workouts that help you burn the fat. Strength and flexibility go hand in hand. They have to go together. Okay, in order for you to really be healthy and really have good results. So I love yoga because it gives you the flexibility and it gives you the strength. The third prong would be cardiovascular exercise or things that get your heart rate elevated. So even though yoga is not as like jumping around and fast as like CrossFit or P90X or whatever, it gets your heart rate up. it gets your heart rate up. All of the lifting up and down and bending and stuff like that, it will get your heart rate going. And especially if you do power yoga, it's just like it sounds. It's just harder, more powerful, more intense, more faster paced. So flexibility, strength training, cardiovascular, yoga gives you all of those, and I love that about it. It also reduces your stress and it helps you sleep. Really important things for weight loss. Last thing I want to say, two more things I want to say. Yoga, also fantastic for balancing your hormones. Okay, one of the biggest reasons that weight loss or weight gain are such big issues is because they're very, very much based in our hormones. And for most of us, living, in modern society, living in big cities, working at computers, okay, our hormones just become totally out of whack. Part of this is being exposed to the hormones in the food. They put oestrogenic chemicals in our cleaning supplies, our skin care supplies, our soaps, our clothing. We're exposed to all different kinds of what they call endocrine disruptors or hormone disruptors. And if your hormones are out of balance, thyroid, adrenals, okay, not to mention your stress hormones, which I already talked about, all of those different hormone levels can affect your ability to lose weight. So yoga is fantastic because it helps you balance your hormones. All of the kind of inverted postures, such as, even downward dog is a slight inversion, but going upside down into like handstands or back bends, or even kind of a gentle one is what they call camel pose, which is where you just kind of do this and lean back over your feet. Your adrenals and your thyroid and your neck, anything that draws blood into this area, such as an inversion, going upside down, is really good for balancing your hormones. So the hormone balancing effect of yoga, I think, is a very, very important part in helping you lose weight. And then what was going to be the last thing I wanted to say is that when you want to lose weight, okay, you're trying to lose weight, remember that the bigger the muscle group that you work out, the bigger the energy demand that you're making. So when you are working your legs, your glutes, okay, those are the biggest muscle groups in your body. And what that means is that when you work your legs and you work your glute muscles, they are making a bigger energy demand. And remember, energy demand equals fat burning, right? So yoga, very, very intensive in keeping your legs and your glutes working. Not only does yoga make your butt look awesome, okay, but building that strength in your legs through warrior poses, chair pose, lunging poses. There's so much of that in yoga. By working those big muscle groups, even though you're not squatting 500 pounds or whatever, those exercises, those yoga poses are definitely working those big muscle groups. And that's, again, a big energetic demand, which is going to translate to weight loss. Now, most yoga instructors, they don't want to be like, yoga's for weight loss, because to them, yoga is for improving your wellness, improving your state of mind, reducing your stress, getting healthy, getting flexible. And weight loss is just kind of the secondary effect of all of those other benefits. But yes, yoga can help you lose weight. I think yoga has a bazillion different benefits and reasons that people should do it. I may even have somebody do a whole freaking video, or maybe I'll do a whole freaking video talking about all of those things I just went over in terms of why and how yoga can help you burn that unwanted fat off of the body. Elix. I apologize, I'm not quite sure if I'm saying your name right. So, Eylix is the screen name. The more I think about reducing food, the more that I eat. I didn't have as much of a problem with this before, I just had to cut the sweets. Now, I feel like eating anything all the time. So I would just kind of, echo what I was saying, a couple minutes ago to the person that was talking about counting calories and restricting their calories. And I just think it's so much more important, rather than focusing on eating less, rather than thinking about the quantity of the food you eat, think about the quality of the food that you eat. So you want to stay away from those processed foods, things with a really long ingredient list, things that somebody hands you through a drive-through window. The thing about those foods is that they're pretty much engineered to make you overeat them. Because if you're Kraft or your General Mills or your McDonald's, okay, do you care more about the health of the people in the world, or do you care more about the bottom line for your business? And any business owner or business person will tell you that the most important thing is your profit. So for these companies that their whole business is making food, they're going to make more money if they get people to eat more food. Very, very obvious, right? People eat more food, we make more money. How do we get people to eat more food? Right? Because everyone has, a certain amount of food they're going to eat each day. How do you get people to eat more food? Well, you could take out the fiber so it doesn't fill them up. You could take out the fat so that it doesn't fill them up. You could, in the case of white bread, the reason that I gripe about white bread all the time is that it's a great example of a partial food. So if you just picked a wheat grain out of the ground that was growing on the grass, okay, there's 3 different parts. It's like the germ, the endosperm, and the mesoderm, I think. 3 different parts of the seed. What they do to make that white bread is they just isolate out the starchy part of the grain. And the other 2 parts of the grain typically go into like cow feed and stuff like that. So they're like getting like double their worth, right? So now they're like, woohoo, we made all this people food and we made all this animal food with just 1 wheat grain, right? Think about how much effing money they save by doing that. Okay, so the reason that white bread is white and whole wheat bread is brown is that when you remove the fiber, okay, the other 2 parts of the grain, and all you have left is the starchy part. So white bread is kind of sweet. Right? White bread, it's just starchy. It doesn't have the fiber, okay? And it doesn't have the minerals, which is what makes whole grain bread brown, because it has all those different parts of the grain. So when you strip out all of the nutrients and you strip out all of the fiber, and you're just left with the starch, now you have a food that's not going to fill people up as much. So those refined carbohydrates, white bread, white pasta, white tortillas, potato chips, even though that's not made from the same grain, but it's still a refined carbohydrate. You're gonna overeat. From a hormone perspective, when we eat, the body responds to the foods that we eat by producing certain hormones in order to stimulate the hormonal messaging system that tells your brain your stomach is full. It needs fiber. Things like fat and protein signal a hormone called glucagon. Glucagon is a very important hormone for helping to signal to your brain to stop eating. So when we have a lack of fiber, fat, and protein in the foods that we're eating, they're not going to fill us up. This is why you can sit there and eat a huge bag of potato chips and still feel hungry afterward. This is why you can sit there and just mindlessly snack on, chips or Gardettos or like whatever thing, Cheetos, and you never feel full. And you just keep eating them. And people are gaining weight at an alarming pace because they're eating way more calories than their body can handle. But the food industry is tricking you into overeating by feeding you partial foods. So what should you eat? What's the answer? What's the solution? Focus on the quality of the foods that you're eating. And just focus on trying to eat things that are as close to their natural state as possible. What I call minimally processed. So that means that there's not this crazy list of chemical ingredients on the back. The simplest way would just be eating things that don't have an ingredient list at all. When you shop in the produce section, your broccoli, your celery, your spinach, your carrots, those are all great examples of a whole food. Just a natural food. The store Whole Foods, the reason that it has that name is because it's a health concept. The concept that you eat the whole food. Another great example is eggs. What does the weight loss industry want you to do? They want you to avoid eating the yolk. Why? Why do they want you to avoid eating the yolk? Well, they made up all this BS about how there's too much cholesterol and blah, 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 and you don't eat the yolk because your cholesterol's too high. Now they know all of that is a complete crock of shit, pardon my French. Okay, your body produces more cholesterol in a day than you could get if you ate like 10 eggs, which is way more eggs than somebody would probably eat in a day, unless you're Rocky, okay? But the bottom line is that it's not the cholesterol. In my personal opinion, this all goes back to them wanting to trick you into eating more food. Because they know if you don't get the fat and enzymes and all of the amazing healthy nutrients that are present in the yolk, you're going to still be hungry. That food is not going to fill you up. So if you're going to eat eggs, eat the whole egg. I'm not telling you to eat the shell, okay? But eat the yolk and the white, not the partial food. Another great example, fat-free foods. How many fat-free foods are there in the grocery store? Fat-free peanut butter, fat-free milk, fat-free yogurt, reduced fat cheese. When you take a food like milk or cheese or nuts, foods that naturally have fat in them, and you take the fat out, what have you just done? You removed the part of the food that helps to signal people that they're full. So by tricking people into eating all of these fat-free and low-fat foods, they are actually just tricking you into overeating. And they have made billions and billions and billions of dollars doing it. With a very high cost, which is our health, our well-being, our lives. I feel very, very, very passionately about this, as y'all can probably tell. But for those of you out there that are like, why can't I stop overeating? Why do I eat so much? Why can't I stop eating? I would just venture a guess that you're eating fat-free foods. You're eating the egg whites, the egg white omelet or whatever, right? Because they made you think it's healthier. They effing tricked us into thinking all of these things are healthy for us when actually they're just tricking us into eating more food. So you need the fiber, you need the fat. It's what fills you up. Eat natural foods like vegetables, nuts. If you eat meat, fine. Remember that some fat in the meat is going to help fill you up. They've really, really gone out of their way to demonize fat. And in my personal opinion, it is all a part of their ruse to trick people into eating more food than they need, eating more calories than they need to eat. So try to switch over to just focusing on the quality of the foods you eat. And my guess is that if you are eating those natural foods with fiber and fat and all of those, ingredients that are just naturally present in the food, like whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, beans, nuts, those foods will self-regulate how much you eat. Because once you have that fiber and that fat in the food, it will signal and trigger all of those hormonal messages that send messages from your stomach to your brain to tell you, hey, I'm full, I'm good, put the Cheetos away, or whatever it is, put the broccoli away, I'm done. One of the things I have noticed as I transitioned, because guys, I used to be, eating fast foods and Cheez-Its and junk food. I had no idea about nutrition. Had no idea my whole life until I was in college, and I kind of had this aha moment while we were learning about the pathology of cancer. And I started investigating and studying nutrition, and all of a sudden my mind was just blown by all of this information, and so many things made more sense to me. Anyways, one of the things that I noticed was that once I started transitioning to trying to just eat real foods, natural foods, is that I would get so full that I hadn't been that full before. Like when you're eating junk foods and fast foods, you'll feel full right after you eat them. Sometimes. But then you feel hungry again a little while later. It's the weirdest sensation. You're like, okay, I just ate 1,500 calories. How am I possibly hungry? Well, now I understand why. And now that I eat real foods and I really try to prioritize that, I eat a meal, and at some point I just get to this point that I couldn't force myself to eat any more food. I'm full. And it's an amazing freaking feeling. And then I'm full for hours. It's an amazing feeling. Because if you're eating junk food and fast food and stuff all the time, you don't even know what it feels like to be full. And it's an amazing feeling. It's awesome. Going hours and hours of the day and not even thinking about food, it's awesome. And it just makes it way easier to avoid all the junk food and fast food restaurants that you pass all the time. Because if you're kind of hungry all the time, guess what you're always going to be doing? Okay, I'm looking for question marks. Jonathan Whitelaw, what are Epsom salts and what are the benefits? Epsom salts, the benefit of an Epsom salt bath is that your body will absorb the minerals in the salts. I was talking earlier about how most of us are mineral deficient, and unfortunately, most of us, we are getting way too much sodium in our diet because the typical table salt is just NaCl. It's sodium, right? So most of us are way, way high in sodium, but then way, way, way deficient in magnesium, selenium, zinc, phosphorus. There's all these other really important minerals that we don't get enough of. So eating sea salt instead of regular table salt is a good way to supplement your minerals. When you take an Epsom salt bath, you can absorb minerals from those salts. It's also tends to be kind of thought of as detoxifying because it helps to pull toxins and dirt and whatever out of the body. So it's a very rejuvenating type of experience. I think that one thing a lot of people don't realize is that our food cravings are oftentimes our body's way of trying to communicate with us. So if you have a lot of salt cravings, you're always craving salty foods, that's a really good sign that your body is deficient in minerals. So it's really, really important for you to reduce your sodium intake. Stop reaching for the Cheetos and the Cheez-Its and the things that are just salted with sodium. And to eat things like nuts, very, very wonderful source of minerals. Seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds give you good minerals. And Himalayan sea salt, another really great example of a way to get a better spectrum of minerals rather than just sodium. Katrina Zing, where could you find a doctor to do the nutrient test? So depending on where you are, you know, what part of the country or what part of the world, you know, there's going to be different things. I know in Austin, we have, you know, there's like places that you can go and just get a blood test done. So if you look up, you know, blood test or something like that, you can find a place. And then if you look up functional medicine and your zip code or your city, that's a good way to find what you're looking for is a doctor of functional medicine. If you can't find a doctor of functional medicine, you might find an applied clinical nutritionist. Applied clinical nutritionist also would be able to help you with that. A naturopathic doctor, depending on who you go to, may or may not do that. So what I would encourage is, you know, if you really want to find someone that's in your city, you know, look around in your city, do a search for functional medicine or naturopathic doctor, and you can just call them and ask them and say, hey, you know, I want to get some blood work done to find out if I have nutritional deficiencies. Is that something you do? And that will be a really easy way to find out if that, you know, person does that or not. If you can't find somebody who is where you live, the cool thing about functional medicine is that because it's all based on your blood work, and sometimes they'll also test other bodily fluids as well, but because it's all based on lab results, you can actually find somewhere where you live that you can go and get those lab tests done, and then have them send those test results to your doctor, wherever they are. So you can actually, you know, work with somebody who's in another city or in another country even, you know, and do like phone calls or Skype sessions or something like that. And they can still get those lab results and be able to get the information they need to help you. Bella Ann, how do you learn to eat and like healthy foods when you're used to crappy foods? Really good question. You know, the thing about the crappy foods, the processed foods, junk foods, etc., is that they, you know, number one, they engineer the foods to be addictive. Period. They engineer the foods to be addictive. I've actually done a couple videos. It's been a few years, but I did several videos talking about how they do that. So things like using ridiculously high amounts of sugar or high amounts of fat, the combination of fats and sugars, such as donuts, is that they stimulate like a reward response in the brain. When they look at the area of the brain that lights up from sugar, it's the same area of the brain that lights up from cocaine. You know, it's just part of this reward pathway that gets triggered. And that's a big reason why we get so addicted to eating those foods. So not only do we have the emotional dependence, because emotionally speaking, that positive reward response we get from those foods is very like addictive, just mentally and emotionally. They're also physically addictive. then they will use, chemicals like monosodium glutamate or MSG to even further increase the addictive nature of the foods. So a big part of it for me was just understanding that they design the foods to be addictive. It's not an accident that I feel totally addicted to Cheez-Its. Like, they really are engineering them to be addictive. So just understanding that and understanding why I felt so dependent on those foods was a really big part of me finding the motivation to resist them. Because I'm like, I don't want to voluntarily let Coca-Cola poison me. I'm not going to voluntarily let McDonald's poison me and ruin my life. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but it was very helpful to me. But with all of that said, understand that your body wants you to eat healthy. It wants you to eat healthy foods. And so if you can just start anywhere, starting to make small little steps towards eating those healthier foods, eventually your body will come to crave the healthier foods. The same way that we crave salt when we're deficient in minerals, okay? The body wants to guide us toward the food that it needs and the nutrients that it needs. And if we can get out of those, kind of processed chemicals and artificially designed food, food-like substances, your body's craving mechanisms, your body's, the cravings, the foods that you find really pleasurable, etc., will start to shift. And it'll get to the point where you're craving the healthier foods. And it's to the point now where the junk foods, they're not appealing to me anymore. I don't have to motivate myself to not eat them because I'm just not tempted by them anymore. So be patient with yourself. Remember that it is an addiction, an emotional and physical addiction. So it's going to take some time, but you can totally kick it. Just start little by little. Little by little. I say this a lot, but if it takes, bacon bits and ranch dressing to get you to eat a salad, then fine, do it. The bottom line is that whatever you can do to add more vegetables and add more healthy foods into your diet, that's fantastic. So if you need to pour Hershey's chocolate syrup over a bowl of fruit to get you to eat fruit, then do it. Obviously, it'll be healthier without the Hershey syrup on top, but as you're transitioning from eating junk foods and trying to eat healthier, just know you're going to have to, find some happy balances in there to get you there. So if you never eat salad, you hate salad, it grosses you out, then do whatever you need to do to a salad, to make yourself want to eat it. So maybe that's bacon bits, maybe that's ranch dressing, cheese, whatever it is. And then you can always, I just really think of it stepwise. So you start by eating salads with, bacon bits and ranch dressing. And then at some point you can phase out the bacon bits and then phase out towards a healthier dressing, etc. But just thinking stepwise. The little baby carrots they're like pre-peeled and pre-washed, and you just open a bag and eat it. Maybe having those little simple things like that on hand and just eating a little bit of them here and there. Or, another good trick is to just carry around healthy snacks. And then when you get hungry enough, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to eat the trail mix, or I'm going to eat the banana, or whatever. Because once you get really hungry, but there's also a happy medium there. Because at some point you'll get so starving hungry that you can't make a decision to eat healthier anymore, and you're going to go through the drive-thru. But there is a certain point of hunger where you're going to be like, banana, salad, So just go slow. Be patient with yourself and kind to yourself. And don't try to do it all at once. So free one up. You are so kind. I really appreciate your tip. First tip of the day, and we're almost at the end of the live chat already. Free one up. I don't know what I'd do without you. So free one up says, you pretty much answered my food question already. This tip is also because I didn't get a tip last week. Yes, last week was a big, a big 0 on the tip counter, which was kind of sad. So free one up. Thank you so much. I really hate that you are like one person now that has left me a lot of different tips in the live chat. But that really is kind of you and super generous. And if you have another question that comes up while we're talking today, please let me know, because I owe you an answer. Probably owe you like 100 answers, because you have been so kind and generous over these last couple months of live chats. You know, the whole reason that we're even asking for tips now is because YouTube slashed our income. You know, for the last decade almost, we have survived as a business and even been able to grow as a business by putting up free videos on the internet that people can watch for free, enjoy for free, and we made enough money from YouTube that we could afford to keep making them. We were never like making big profits or anything like that, but we were at least making our ends meet. Over the last couple months, YouTube has had all of these issues, like advertiser boycotts, and freaking, it's just been very, very, very bad. A lot of channels have had to completely shut down because they lost all their income, or so much of their income they couldn't afford to keep making videos. So anyways, this has had a big effect on us. We have had our income slashed almost in half, maybe more than in half. And it's really, really making things difficult. So we really appreciate your tips. Our whole goal is just providing helpful information to people. And it's very unfortunate that now, you know, our ability to do that is being threatened by the, you know, by the man, so to speak. So you can also help us out by joining our subscription service, wellnessplus.tv, where we have hundreds and hundreds of videos with dozens of videos getting added each week. Lots of different topics to help you get healthier, help you reduce your stress, etc. And we're actually offering a free 7-day trial. So if you go to wellnessplus.tv right now, you can try it out free for 7 days and see if it's something you want to sign up for. It's only $5 a month. It's only $5 a month. It's like less than like 1 or 2 Starbucks coffees. So it really helps us out. Remember, you can try it out for free. See if it's something that you want to be a part of. I am scrolling down looking for question marks here. Remember, if you leave a tip, your question will get bumped to the top. Best way to guarantee you get an answer. I'm going to just do a couple more questions today. Jonathan Whitelaw, how can you effectively reverse the bad effects of lack of sleep? I mean, really the only way to do that is to get sleep. The main time that our body is healing and repairing is while we sleep. So that's a big reason why lack of sleep has all of these, you know, different negative effects. So get more sleep if you can. Magnesium supplements, melatonin supplements can be helpful. And just reducing your stress overall would be another way to kind of counteract the negative effects of not getting enough sleep. So whether it's doing yoga, guided meditations, anything you can do to be less stressed out during your day will be really helpful. And do your best to try and get more sleep. That's really the only thing that can truly, truly reverse those negative effects. Okay, looking for question marks. Yellow Flower says, I walk 40 minutes daily in nature. I enjoy walking. It's been 3 months now. My total cholesterol came down from 197 to 152. Enjoy the exercise. You will never quit. I love that. So Yellow Flower, thank you for leaving that. That's, you know, what I say all the time about, you know, find some kind of exercise that you enjoy doing. And it's going to be the best way to motivate yourself to keep going and really get those benefits from it. There's just a bazillion different ways to, you know, get some physical activity in your day. So finding something that you like to do is just a really, really good idea. And so just walking out in nature, she has significantly improved her cholesterol levels, which is fantastic. Boeing T7, WTF, I thought wheat bread was just white bread with brown coloring in it. A lot of the wheat bread is. You have to look at the ingredient label. And I spent, I think, 2 hours one time in the bread department of the H-E-B, our local grocery store here in Texas. I think I was in there for 2 hours. I read the ingredient label of every single loaf of bread. The Health Nut bread, the Arrowhead, Arrowhead wheat or something like that. Pepperidge Farms. Okay. Now this was a couple years ago, so it's possible they've changed their ingredients because they've been watching my videos. They know I'm bitching about this, right? Even the wheat breads still had the enriched flour. That's the bad guy. That's the partial grain flour. It's called enriched. It's like they tricked us, right? It's the unhealthiest flour, but they give it this name, enriched. The reason they call it enriched is because they have to add synthetic vitamins back into the flour just so that it doesn't make you sick when you eat it. So it's enriched because you wouldn't be able to digest the flour on its own because it's just starch, no nutritional benefits whatsoever. So depending on the wheat bread, you do kind of have to read the ingredients because a lot of them still have that enriched flour. Sometimes it'll say unbleached enriched flour on the ingredient label, and caramel coloring to make it brown. So if you're looking for a literally legit whole grain bread that's decently healthy, you really need to look on the ingredient label, and it should say like 100% whole wheat flour. There's a lot of them that'll also say whole wheat flour, comma, enriched flour. So, I mean, even the wheat breads, for the most part, are still just complete junk. There are some brands out there that are actually making legitimately whole grain bread. Ezekiel is, I believe, the healthiest brand of bread, at least that we have, easily available here in Austin. But unfortunately, you do have to read your ingredients because a lot of the wheat bread is still made with that really, really crappy flour. Yeah, sorry. I've had a stressful day today. I've had a stressful day. So I apologize. Yes, I dropped Jonathan Whitelaw says, I love your fluent French today, Corrina. Corrina, the S-bomb, what is the world coming to? Yeah, so I apologize. I'm kind of like, not having the best language today. I'm at my limit. it's kind of funny because I do all these videos about how important it is for us to handle our stress, but I have a really stressful job. Dealing with all our presenters, I get canceled on all the time. We make videos, I shoot all day for Psychetruth, and then once or twice a week I shoot at night from about 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. for the ASMR channel. It's just kind of ironic that in order to make this, you know, all these videos to help people sleep, I've like completely screwed my own personal sleep cycle. Anyways, so yeah, I am stressed out a bit today. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but it's probably why I am speaking fluent French, as John Whitelaw liked to say. Diana Martinez, what are your thoughts on calorie restriction? Have you ever put any of your clients on one? What is the highest and lowest calorie intake you've ever recommended? I never encourage people to count calories. I just don't do it. I know there's a couple people out there that, you know, do well counting calories or it's helpful for them, but by and large, like, I think, you know, your calorie intake that you need is just dependent on so many different factors that I can't, you know, just tell someone, oh, this is how many calories, blah, 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 blah. You know, because we could talk about how old you are. How physically active are you? How much weight are you trying to lose? Right? By and large, restricting calories prevents you from losing weight because it tells your body that there is a shortage of food. And when your body perceives that there is a food shortage or a potential famine, what does it do? It holds on to that life raft of your fat even stronger. You know, so I used this analogy earlier. You know, imagine that your body is there in the ocean drowning and it's got this life raft, and the life raft is all of the fat it has stored up over your life that is going to save your life if there's a famine. So the more that you calorie restrict, the more that you skip your meals, the more that your body just holds on to that life raft even tighter because it's perceiving that there's a potential famine. So I hate calorie restricting. I hate counting calories. I encourage you to eat to satisfy your hunger. Don't be hungry. Don't be hungry. Most important thing is that you give your body the energetic and nutritional things that it needs. You know, and largely your body, once your body starts getting healthier, okay, it will actually guide you to your ideal diet. It'll tell you how much you need to eat. It'll crave the foods that you need. And, you know, I just think that there's so much emphasis put on calorie restriction and, counting your calories or whatever, using a little app to track how much you eat. I just think it's not necessary. I think it's more important for you to focus on the quality of the food that you're eating, trying to think about eating healthy foods, vegetables, brown rice, nutrients, things that don't have a long ingredient of processed chemicals in it. And once you focus more on the quality of the food, you'll find that your body regulates how much you need to eat. And if you're staying away from fat-free foods, diet foods, and junk foods that are designed to make you overeat, you'll find that you don't need to count calories in order to lose weight. Okay, Saiyan Groove. Saiyan Groove. Thank you so much for your tip. Alrighty. You know how they ring a bell when somebody leaves a tip? That's my version of ringing a bell. All right, so Saiyan Groove. Corrina, can you talk about It Works? It Works. So this is a variety of skincare, lifestyle supplements, essential oils, all kinds of stuff. So I'm not familiar off the top of my head, but I just went to their website here. You know, so when a brand reaches out to me, you know, to ask me to review their product or something like that, you know, I go to their website, I look at the product. The first thing I want to do is read the ingredients. So that's what I'm looking for here on their like greens thing. View product info. Okay, Whole Foods proprietary blend. Cool, got a lot of Whole Foods in it. Other ingredients, natural flavors, malic acid, citric acid. You know, I would have to spend, you know, so when I get contacted by a brand and I'm trying to look at their product and decide if I would want to show it or not, if I think it's healthy or not, I would just want to spend some more time reading about it. I mean, it looks pretty good. Just, you know, looking, you know, I'm just looking at this one green supplement thing here. I would definitely need to spend more time looking into this product. I've shown a couple of different greens products over the years. Green Vibrance is one that I definitely think very highly of. You know, without spending more time here, I can't really give you a super specific answer. Like I said, off the bat, it looks pretty good, you know, so they've got a lot of healthy foods in this product. You know, I tend to avoid things with natural flavors. It kind of scares me, but at the same time, you know, a product like this is probably not using the beaver butt juice chemical, the castoreum. You know, non-GMO, soy-free, no artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. Sounds pretty good. They've got essential oils. Man, they've got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't used any of these It Works products. I would say that, you know, for, you know, just a general, you know, glance at their website, these looks like pretty cool products. I will look into that more and see if I can find out more about that for you. Thank you so much for your tip. You know, just as a general rule of thumb, I think that it's important to, you know, just kind of pay attention to what kind of claims a certain product is making. So for instance, when you go to like Jenny Craig or Slim Fast or whatever, like those types of programs are giving you these like kind of, you know, just big sales pitches, you know, and I think that that's kind of a red flag for me. Things that are emphasizing that they improve your health, I think are always going to be better than things that emphasize helping you lose weight. So this definitely looks like healthy products. You know, I can't say just looking at their website in terms of the quality and everything, but certainly looks like they're probably worth a try. So Saying Groove, thank you so much for your tip. So absolutely kind of you. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up this chat. I have a very, very long day ahead of me. I want to thank everyone for their questions. I want to remind y'all that you can go to wellnessplus.tv and get a free 7-day trial of our subscription service. You could probably go and, I don't know if you could watch 700 videos in 7 days, but you could sure try. If you wanted to try and watch all the videos during your free trial. So yeah, check us out there. You can also support us on Patreon. Be sure to come back to our channel in about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to be posting a little video that Melissa made. If y'all remember Melissa LaMunyon, she had a guided meditation we posted a few weeks ago, and it got a flagged for copyright on the music. So that's why that meditation disappeared. We're going to put new music on it and put that back up. Just side note on that. But I have a little Melissa video. She's reviewing this really cool service called a Yoga Club, where you get really awesome yoga clothing at a really steep discount. It's a really short video, but please go check it out. Leave your comment. Let me know what you think. Say what's up to Melissa. Again, I'll be publishing that in just a couple of minutes, so I hope you guys will go over there and check it out for me. Be sure to come back again and join me next week, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Wednesday, right here on your YouTube machine. Thank you so much, Free One Up, Say and Groove, for your gracious, generous tips today. Thank you so much. It was time for live chat. Ooh, the Psychetruth live chat. Every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on your YouTube machine. Live chat, live chat, live chat, live chat. I'll answer your questions about whatever you want to talk about on the Psychetruth live chat. Live chat. Psychetruth live chat on your YouTube machine. Live chat. The Psychetruth live chat. Ooh. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, everyone who asked questions. I hope you will come back and join me again next week. My apologies to those of you who I did not get to your questions. It's pretty much impossible for me to see every single question and every single comment here. I do my very best, guys. Remember that if you just leave a little tiny tip, your question gets bumped to the top and you basically get a guaranteed answer to your question. Guaranteed your question is answered next. So I get a lot of people who complain, like, why didn't you answer my question? I do my best. Come back next week. If you want to talk to me about scheduling a health coaching session one-on-one, email corrinanow@gmail.com. So it has the word email in it. Email corrinanow@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a good one. Be healthy, be well, and I will see you again soon.